Hello, welcome back. Ryan and Cars. So right off the bat, I want to know if anybody watching this, if you're watching this, if you've ever been a professional driver, if you've been paid to drive, either like it's a job now or in the past, where for whatever driving you were doing, courier, bus driver, truck driver, race car driver, anything in any capacity, where a taxi driver, where you got paid to drive, right? You had to go get a commercial license and you went out there and you got paid to drive. Because I want to talk about driver aids. Because I drive for a living now. Well, I have been driving for a living. My first foray into professional driving was for a handy bus service, where we had a fleet of handy buses, and it was sponsored. It was paid for by BC Transit and the provincial government, and we worked in tandem with BC Transit. Most cities have a version of this service, and we would pick people up at regular bus stops. We would pick up, at their houses, drop them off for medical appointments, and we took care of people in mobility challenged and seniors. Now, what I noticed when I first got into those buses was that there were no driver aids. Some of the buses had cruise control, but when you mentioned cruise control in the lunchroom, a lot of the senior drivers went, you don't need a cruise control. You don't use cruise control. You don't have cruise control. Like, I've mentioned cruise control in a previous video a while back, where I use it all the time. I'll use it going through a school zone where it's like 30 kilometers an hour or something. I just hit it and press it, and it keeps my speed through the, then I don't have to worry about police or running people over or running into somebody. It's just, there's the speed, do it. And it's hard for me because I drive like a nut kid. I got a heavy foot, right? So I use cruise control there. I use cruise control on the highway. I use cruise control wherever I've got a long stretch of highway or a long stretch of road. Speed's not going to change, and I just set it so I don't have to think about it. It's one less thing for me to do, right? So what I noticed while driving as a professional driver, people around, like vulnerable people, with no driver aids, it beat me. It did. It was hard on me, because you got to be 100% on top of things. Everything that's going on in the vehicle, with you, with the vehicle, with the cars around you, the speed, the wind, it didn't matter. You had no help. You had no help. Now, the thing with driver aids is that it's supposed to relieve the driver of any, extra stress, let's say, any extra work, right? And I use cruise control as a starting point because that was probably one of the first driver aids in a car, aside from like mirrors and a steering wheel and headlights, right? But just something where, I didn't have, you set cruise control, you don't have to worry about your foot, right? Because I don't know about you, I've been on long drives without cruise control, and you do get cramps in some cars, right? But now today, in these days, the modern cars, and I've talked about this about my Hornet, like I press all the buttons on it and it drives itself, right? It does so much that I don't have to think about the steering. I don't have to think about adjusting for the wind. I don't have to worry about staying in between the lines. I don't have to worry about how fast I'm going and how much pressure I need to be putting on the gas pedal. I don't have to worry about how far away the car is in front of me and count poles all the time. I don't have to worry about people walking behind me in my car that I can't see because all the warning bells go off. I don't have to worry about a hidden car in my blind spot because the little flashy blind spot thingies. Yes, I do have shoulder checks, but in some of these vehicles you actually can't shoulder check because there is nothing to see, right? Now, when I first got that job driving that bus, and dealing with drivers who have been professionally driving for a long period of time already. When I mentioned cruise control, they all made the face. You don't need no cruise control. No, you don't. Nobody uses cruise control, right? You got to be in full control of the vehicle. You got to know everything that's going on. You got to right? And you know, which was opposite of the training they were giving us, which is like, you're not a mechanic, so don't worry about it. If something doesn't work, you call the supervisor or take the bus over to the mechanic, right? All you got to know is that there's oil in it, there's fluids in it, and then go. You know, you're not there to assess any problems with the motor or the wheels or anything. Just say, there's a problem, take it to the guy that knows it, right? And as a driver driving around with the driver aids, it's hard on you. It is. Like, I drive this bus around. It doesn't have all the driver aids. It does have radar, thankfully. So I can set that and forget it. And when I come up on a vehicle, I don't have to count poles. I don't have to worry about rear-ending them. It's also got the auto braking, right? Not that I'm going to ignore, you know, that I'm in front of, you know, the guys in front of me sort of thing. I'm just saying, the driver aids relieve a lot of the pressure on the driver. And the main job of a driver is to remain alert for as long as possible while they're driving and aware of their surroundings. Now, if you are driving for a long period of time and with no driver aids and still trying to be aware of everything that's going on around you without any help, it is exhausting. If you agree with me, hit the thumbs up. Now, modern passenger cars, regular passenger cars now, like we had a 2018 Camry, and that came standard. We had the base LE, and it had all the driver aids. It had auto braking, it had you know, blind spot detection, lane deviation correction, it had the rear cross traffic thing, it had, you know, cruise control. And I always wondered why they didn't put all that stuff in these driver-focused vehicles like this Dodge Sprinter, Mercedes Sprinter, whatever you want to call it. It's a Dodge badge on it, but it's the Mercedes, right? I get in here and there's no sonar, there's no rear cross traffic alert. It does have a cool backup camera, sorta. It's got a camera in the rear view mirror, so I can switch it between the mirror and the rear-facing camera to check for traffic behind me, because you can't see through the rear window, right? And I just think it's odd. Like, is it a clicky thing? Is it I don't know. Is it a bias that professional drivers have where they do not want driver aids, or is it just companies saying, drivers don't need it? You know, they don't need these things. Because I honestly think that that technology I have in my passenger car should be in here to make my professional driving job better. Like, technology makes your job easier. Well, I shouldn't say that in general, but if you can get a better tool to do a better job, or makes your job easier, wouldn't you buy that tool? I think that's what I'm trying to say with driver aids. And you know, tell me in the comments what you think about that. Because I don't know. When I first started driving, I loved driving. But then I found out the monotony of driving. You know, yes, it's fun to get out there and the world frees up, but quickly you learn that not all roads are sweeping bends and twisties in the corners. There's no accelerate. No, it's traffic to stoplight to stoplight, stop sign to stop sign. You know, it's right-hand turns looking for pedestrians. Missed my turn. Yeah, I'm not paying attention to talk to the camera. But yeah, tell me what you think. Like, should these commercial vehicles where professional drivers spend their day driving, shouldn't they, have all of these whistly safety things? I think they should. And I don't know if drivers should be turning them down. Because I do know that when I drive for the same amount of time in my Hornet, I am not as exhausted as I am driving this thing for the same amount of time. Like, we did that cross province trip or whatever from BC to Alberta, and I used every single button I could use to drive through the mountains. And you know what? It was exhausting, but I was not beat. And I've done that drive before when I was younger, and it took a toll because I didn't have cruise control. I did it in a Volkswagen Scirocco, and you were switched on the entire time. Here we are. All right. Let me know in the comments if you like something, like it. If something rang your bell, put it in the comments, because I'd really like to see some people's take on this, because I don't know. Professional drivers don't seem to want driver aids. I just don't hear enough about it. I think professional drivers just say, well, it is what it is, and that's it. It doesn't get any better. That kind of thing. Maybe it's the companies don't want to absorb liability where, the car goes wrong and it runs somebody over or something. All right, I gotta let you go. I'm here. I got to do a pickup, and I'll see you on the next one.